to their own as well as their care recipient. It is with that in mind that a physical therapist has written this helpful book. Kirk Matthews has more in tonight's Elderhood Project.
The complete title of the book is A Caregiver's Complete Guide for Safe Mobility and Independence in the Home. Physical therapist Kevin Lockett wrote the book.
If you look at injuries for professional caregivers, it's one of the 6 of the top professions. Of the 10 that are at risk for injuries are professional caregivers. And if you think about Hawaii, how much caregiving is done at home.
The main thrust of Lockett's book is to provide caregivers with the information they need to avoid injury while caring for their loved one.
First of all, that there's so much focus on the care receiver, and the caregiver is selfless, and a lot of times, at a detriment to the care receiver, because again, if the caregiver gets injured or hurt or burns out, it affects everyone.
That is a term we hear time and again when it comes to caregiving: burnout. For Lockett, that is just as big a consideration as the physical skills required to be a caregiver. There are ways to avoid burnout.
One is education, of finding out, what your resources are, are there caregiving. You don't have to do everything, right? I mean, it's hard to be a caregiver, and a spouse, right? You play this dual role, and sometimes that's challenging.
Avoiding burnout may involve something as basic as a brief timeout, doing something the caregiver enjoys doing.
It's so important, especially for people who've been caring, for somebody for a long period of time. They basically kind of lose themselves in this new relationship as a caregiver. So respite is. I always encourage the caregivers to take care of themselves.
Kirk Matthews, KHON2 News, Hawaii's news leader.
President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama got a chance to